everybody. You're in
Everybody.
the Persuasion Club pre-show, getting ready to start the show. We're letting people jump in and connect. Right now we're at a whole 0 people in the room, but that's pretty normal once you get started, right? That's
Yeah, we just hit live. Oh, I see it on Rumble right now.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yep. So it always takes a few minutes to spin things up and everything. That's why we like to do a little pre-show of sorts. Play a little music here. Let's go and play that one that I was doing earlier. That was a good mood lifter. Is that coming through for you?
Yes.
All right.
Hear it.
Turn it up for just a second. Come on in, everybody. We're just getting ready to start the show. Just doing our audio checks, or letting people in before we hit go. All right, which part are we doing, Stephen, as far as our intro goes?
Oh, hey. I last week I did part 2. I can do part 1 this week. The first part.
Okay.
The first part.
Okay. So I got to pull this up here. I should remember it by now. So you're going to do which part?
I'll take the first part.
All right. I'll do the second one, and I'm going to see if I can do it from memory.
Oh, okay. I'm already looking at it. Like, oh, gotta know what I need to say.
Okay, folks, we're getting pretty close here. We're just figuring out our parts for the very beginning, as we always do. So I may not try to wing it after all. I might actually just try to do it right. It's just like one of those things.
It's good to challenge yourself. I was, if you did it by memory, I'd be impressed. Even though we've done it so many times, like for some reason I have a hard time remembering it word for word.
Okay, well, I will fade down the music here and turn this banner thing off.
Grab your favorite stimulant. The banner's gone. Okay. The banner's gone. Said that in the
banner is gone. Yeah, right. I put it in the banner so people know exactly what to do. All right. I'm hitting start on the show here and hitting to the opening sequence and hit and go on the counter.
Government IT workers by day, persuasion enthusiasts, and verbal cage fighters the rest of the time.
If you'd like to level up your persuasion game to godlike levels, grab yourself your favorite stimulant and prepare yourself for the persuasion hit of the day. It's the Persuasion Club Podcast, and it starts now.
Yeah. Nice. Beautiful intro.
Thank you. That would, it's eventually it'll all fade out properly. They're just kind of still working on that whole thing. But hey, Stephen, how is it going? We are back to, I'll stop this presentation mode for a second and see if I can actually get us showing on the screen. It doesn't want to do that. I don't know why. Occasionally we hit those Rumble things. But yeah, how's it going tonight? I'll get this working while we're talking.
It's going good, Kevin. Happy Mother's Day. It's been a beautiful day. Weather-wise, it's been great. I feel like the overall tone of the day has been great. I got a lot of cleaning done. I got some donuts. Uh, it's been good. It's been a good Mother's Day.
Excellent. Hey, it's going to show us in this weird split view like this today. I don't know why, but
All right.
that's what Rumble Studio is giving us today. But we celebrated here, made brunch with for my family, and we enjoyed that. It's been a good day so far. But back on our heads tomorrow, as they say. Back to work.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear that joke? I'm going to start the show off with a joke, okay? You ready for a joke?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
All right. Well, there's this guy, and he dies, and he goes to hell, all right? He gets down there, and the devil's like, all right, come on in here, and he sees that there's these 3 rooms. So in the first room, he sees that there's just people being tortured with pitchforks, jabbed, they're screaming in pain and stuff like that. And, he's like, oh, that's horrible, So then the second room, he sees that, people are being tortured with fire and, other devices and things like that. And it's not looking much better. And then he looks at the third room and he sees people in there and they're standing there waist deep in shit, but they're drinking coffee. That's it. So he's like, well, of all the 3 rooms, I'll take the coffee, the shit and the coffee. So you're like, all right, get in there. And he gets in there. And so just about the time he's in there and he's got his coffee, the devil says, all right, break's over, back on your heads. So
nice.
That's my saying. Back on your heads, man. So,
cheers.
Cheers. Hey, I have my Scott Adams mug today, since we're doing Win Bigly. So simultaneous sip, if we will, to Scott, since we're going ahead and starting this. I've got a mug for you that I can give you, Stephen. It's this was the unofficial mug. So it's another one, and it has the simultaneous sip thing on there. That one I might be able to do from memory, maybe. All you need is a cup or mug, a glass, take a shell stein, a canteen, jug, or flask, a vessel of any kind. Fill it with your favorite liquid. I like coffee. And get it ready for the persuasion, or no, not the persuasion. Better. It's a simultaneous sip, and it goes now. I think it's something like that. I'm not maybe doing it quite justice. So.
It sounded legit.
It sounded legit, yeah. But anyway, my lovely wife had bought this one for me here, and wouldn't you know it, though, it was the unofficial merchandise, and bless her for trying to pick that up for me anyway. The only difference, well, it's a little bit difference in size. This one here is a little bit bigger. This one's a little bit smaller than the official. And then watch this. When I take my sip, did you see the bottom?
Yeah, it looks like a barcode, or is it words?
No, I might have to get up there a little closer. And this one, the unofficial.
It's more of a refreshing not like a screaming
Yeah, just And when you have that first coffee of the morning, you know how that goes. It's like
for sure, yes.
Yeah. So unfortunately, the unofficial merchandise does not have the on the bottom, and I had to have it. So.
Nice.
I might scratch it that in there and then give this one to you if you want. I'm not trying to give you crap. It's actually at least a decent mug to drink from. So
that'd be great. I mean,
you'll learn the simultaneous sip.
Yeah. What a gift! I mean, I would be like proud to receive that. So if you do want to give it. I would take it.
I want you to have that at least. because it's not crap. It's just not official. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, maybe later on we can talk about where to actually get that official Scott Adams merchandise. I'm sure people are dying to know. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and dive into the show today. We have some fun on the agenda for sure. We are talking about, of course, and I need to flip over again to this presentation mode because that will give us the ability to look at this graphic here. There we go. I think that's up there on our screen, right?
Yep.
So this is the book we're talking about. We talked about it last week a bit. Got into the introduction. Had a pretty good talk about it. I thought I enjoyed it. Yeah. Just kind of a preamble or of sorts. And of course, one of the reasons why we picked this book is because so many people were saying, like, this is the one you got to read, guys. This is, you're going to read Cialdini, as we like to call him. And then after that, you guys got to read Bigley. And I'm like, okay. So here we are.
Challenge met.
Challenge accepted. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
And so if you're interested in, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Rumble, and there's 6 clips that we put up there that are basically just little excerpts from the first edition, actually, because the first edition of the audiobook is actually Scott Adams. Second edition is somebody else is doing the reading. But anyway, and in that, those very short excerpts are just kind of the introduction about what you are going to find in this in this book. And without going back into all those things again, it was kind of one of the very important things for Stephen and I to actually not go political on the show, right?
I feel like everything surrounds politics, but it doesn't necessarily involve the political stuff. So
yeah, exactly.
The goal is to avoid politics.
Yeah. I mean, at least for us, we didn't want to go political on the show because we recognize that everybody's different. We want to appeal to all audiences, and it's just all about basically learning about persuasion. So, hey, we got somebody in the chat. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Gordians. I don't know if you see that too, Stephen, but he's...
Hi, Gord.
He says hello. But yeah, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us tonight. We always like new listeners and stuff. So anyway, yeah, check out those clips on Rumble or YouTube. There's 6 of them there. You can't miss them. They're all Scott Adams related. And they're basically just like the clips that we gleaned from the introduction of the book that kind of resonated with us. So, and then we discussed them on last week's episode. So if you want to check out episode 16, then you can kind of see there. But now we're into, and so when we first started talking this afternoon, Stephen, we're kind of like, oh, well, what part of the book are we doing tonight?
Yeah. It's kind of broken up a little bit differently. So.
It is, yeah. And you may see that I have in my description for the video tonight and the thumbnail that we were doing chapter 1, but the book really isn't broken down that way. And as we kind of discovered, and not that we just found that out this weekend, what I did, and I'm assuming that Stephen probably did, is that you just get the audiobook and you hit go. And before I don't know about you, but before I knew it, I was halfway into the middle of chapter 2. So
yeah, it's like, wait a second, I'm going too far, I think.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, how far should I go?
Yeah, I know, right? It reads very well, and it's I can imagine if we were reading physical copies, I would have a hard time putting it down because I had a hard time stop listening. I get to my destination, I gotta turn it off, and it's like so it's definitely
it's a great book. It's a great listen.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, I've been taking some notes while listening through it, and there's a lot of stuff to take
Yeah,
notes on. Like it's kind of packed with stuff.
Right? Yeah, like he gets right into like I think there must be at least 4 or 5 persuasion tips in the very beginning. Let's go back to what we were talking about before. So instead of chapters, these are what are they called in this? They're sections.
Like part one, part two.
Parts. Correct. Yeah.
But under the parts, there's like sub parts.
Yeah. Yeah, so part 1 is basically titled "Why Facts Are Overrated," and then let's go ahead and what's some of the good stuff you've found from your reading? I want to hear about your notes, man.
Oh man, yeah. Well, he kind of talks about cognitive dissonance and the confirmation bias. And he says he's going to go into those things through the chapter, but just talking about why people's actions are different from their thoughts. So they're thinking one thing and they're doing another, and talking about how your brain should recognize that, and the discrepancy or difference of what's happening. So that was interesting, and I think that later in the part he goes through cognitive dissonance deeper.
Exactly.
But did you pick up anything about cognitive dissonance?
Well, I've been doing a little bit of study on that kind of as a side thing, and I would say that it's from what I gather, and what he's talking about is that sometimes people have a hard time making the facts meet their worldview or whatever, so, or I don't know if the worldview is the right word, but I'm struggling for the words, but it's when your mind can't really reconcile what it's seeing with what you know to be true. I think that's probably like the best way I could describe it.
Okay.
Yeah. And
tracking.
Yeah, and so your mind makes shit up. Pardon my French. I have to say the French really get a bad rap, right? But anyway, so we make shit up, and then later on we come back in and we fill in the details, or we rationalize later on. So, yeah. And I guess that Scott Adams is essentially saying is that we do that more than we think.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Do you even think about it? Do you realize how are you even recognizing that it's happening? That could be really difficult.
Yeah, exactly. So I see that we've got our friend in the chat chatting a little bit more, and I'll try to take a look at some of that a little bit later on. It's tough for me to keep the reading the chat and keep the show going a little bit, but hang in there and know. And if you want to, you're certainly welcome to join us in the after show. We actually invite you to come in, and we'll do Rumble Studio. You can come in and hang out and chat with us. So. Chuck Saden is, I guess, his real name. So I just don't why I don't recognize. I do. It almost sounds familiar, but I don't recognize. But hey, Chuck. Anyway, join us in the after show. We'll definitely chat a little bit more. Confirmation biases, I think, was the other one you mentioned, right?
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts about that?
So it's talking about how like all evidence supports your beliefs. So you're looking for something to confirm whatever it is that you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It could even be coincidence, like something totally coincidental, and you might even know that, but you take it and make it support your beliefs, kind of use it for your benefit. So I do find that interesting. That's something that can be played to, but again, it's like understanding these things and then understanding how they apply in social situations is a different piece. But yeah, it makes sense. I don't have any like super critical thoughts about it, but that's kind of what I picked up.
I think about it as I hear people, and I wouldn't want to mention or call out people out individually because I wouldn't do that. But let's just say it's probably most people that they'll hear a certain fact or information, and then they'll totally come up with the backstories to help explain how that fact might be true. And they're like based on no evidence at all. They're just like hypotheticals or whatever. But those hypotheticals, I think, sometimes have a tendency to become realities in our mind, especially if they are hypotheticals that confirm our biases. So,
yeah, I think I had a thought and it disappeared from me. But
thoughts have a way of doing that.
Yeah, we had a talk this last week about differences of like how sometimes people tell stories from their perspective, but then it's like really far from the action or the activity. It's like the accuracy of that. It's, it's something to be taken into consideration.
Yeah.
But talking about changing people's minds is what Scott talks about. Persuasion really comes down to changing people's minds with or without facts. So you don't even have to use factual evidence or anything that's solid. You can appeal to people's confirmation bias or their cognitive dissonance, or you can apply it to just the whole goal is to get people to change their mind about something. So you want to know where the weaknesses are so that you changing their mind, A, is more effective, and 2, could be quicker. And so you're not using as much energy doing that. So it is very interesting to hear that fact, like hear him say it so casually, is that persuasion really comes down to changing people's minds, and it doesn't matter if you use facts or not.
Right. In fact, from what I can tell, you're better off if you don't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because then it just gets to the point where you're like talking facts. It's like, yes. What do you expect the response to be?
Mm-hmm.
People are going to either disagree or agree. But if it's factual, there's not too much you can go off of. You got to go off of the emotional side, or go to people's confirmation bias or their need to feel part of something or whatever it may be.
Oops, I did something weird in my Rumble here, and that put you off screen for a second. Yeah, totally. What you say resonated with me quite a bit, and it really is a good segue into the topic where Scott was talking about when Trump was running in 2015, or I guess he had announced in 2015 and was running in 16, and he would make statements that would be maybe even somewhat absurd with regards to the wall. And he's like, we're just going to build a wall, big old wall, freaking wall all the way across the whole country, and people would start talking about the wall and like how, that's not going to work because you really can't put a wall across the whole country because there's some places where that won't work, and then there's other places where, and blah, 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 blah. And the whole point was not necessarily that he was coming through with facts, but the statement itself and the way that he talked about it, and even some of the hyperbole that he would use, was enough to get people suddenly very interested in border security when they weren't necessarily before. And that's exactly what he wanted. So it was, you can use language and vocabulary just in itself to get people talking about the things that you want them to talk about. The things that you think about, if I remember the statement, the things that you think about the most have the most power in your life. So,
yeah. No, definitely talking about people's reality shapes everything for them. But I'm getting distracted. The person in the chat made sure to say that I'm double broadcasting. There's an echo coming from me. It's not coming from you. So I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. I'm only using one microphone.
Yeah.
But there's an echo obviously happening.
Strangely, yeah, I am not hearing that, but you might try a refresh and see if that helps you real quick.
Okay.
Just in case. Okay. Thank you for alerting us to that issue.
Hello.
And I hear you there, but let's see, did it correct?
I can still hear myself.
Oh, well, it's, yeah, Steven doesn't have Locals or Rumble open. If you have a double browser open or anything like that, it might do it, but,
yeah, I
but
don't.
Does it sound any better, Chuck? I don't know if that...
I can still hear myself echo. But
You can hear it, boy. What a pain in the butt. There is that control that I think we can try the echo cancellation and see if it's for us. But
it's been on for me. Echo cancellation's on.
Okay. I think it's at a podcast level that I can maybe turn that on and off and stuff. So I was trying that just to see if it would let me do that for you. But anyway,
yeah, your audio did change a little bit, but I don't hear myself as much or at all.
Oh, so that might have helped you a little bit.
Yeah, there's like a little like techno sound, like a little blip, but sometimes when I talk, but that's it.
Yeah, yeah, he does say it's better, so that we could probably at least keep going and at least it'll be a little
we
bit
can
better,
move on.
So
we'll clip that out.
Yeah.
Clip that part out.
Yeah. No. That was such good stuff, man. But we'll have to see what the videos sound like.
Yeah, hopefully the audio can be cleaned up a little bit. Post production.
Right. It's magic that we somehow have to come up with to see what we can do. But let's go ahead and we were talking a little bit about facts. I'm going to read a little something here that kind of just goes along with what you were talking about. It says facts are overrated and often irrelevant to persuasion. Right?
Yeah.
What we were just talking about. People notice and remember exaggeration or intentional wrongness. Do you remember what he was talking about? Intentional wrongness.
Yeah. A little bit.
You can actually make a you can make a statement that is directionally correct, but has a blatant error in it.
Yes. Okay. I do remember that whole thing.
Yeah. And authors, sometimes Scott has said he even uses it in his book. So there'll be an error and it'll what's that, an error? That doesn't read right. And it's like he did it on purpose because he wanted you to focus on that very thing where he put the intentional error. That's clever. That is very clever.
Yeah.
So
The note that I took was exaggerate your guess or opinion in a factual direction, and then you let it sit with people and they work it out.
yeah,
It's almost like you throw them this huge thing and let them eat away the fat that they don't want, basically, and they'll work it out for you. But you at least got them all talking about it, and because you exaggerated your opinion or the factual direction, you just took it to the maximum degree and put it in front of everybody, and then they uh, have to kind of chew on it and talk about it. So that is very interesting.
I would have never thought of that as on my own, and that's what's amazing about when you read a book like this. You learn things that you just never really even thought about before, and yet people who know it and do it, it's trick of the trade. They know exactly what they're doing when they do it, and most people don't even know it's happening.
It's crazy. Even it happens at work where people like leadership will say we have to do this thing by this date, and otherwise it's drop dead. It's gonna die. And then that date comes and it's not there, and they're like, "Oh, you know what? We have another year. We'll give it another year." Like,
Yeah.
okay. And
Wait,
you're like,
what?
"Wait a second. What happened to this huge drop dead date?" And everyone was stressed out, and then all of a sudden, "Oh, don't worry about it. We have a year." And then in a
Yeah.
year, we'll talk about if it's still not real yet. Then
Right.
we'll talk about it in a year. But like we have a year. Like, oh my
Yes.
goodness. Well, good thing everyone lost 10 years of life because of the stress it created.
They burned their
But
lives
then,
out. Yeah.
but but everybody knew that it wasn't like that deadline or whatever wasn't going to stick, but they pushed it that way. And
Mhm.
it's like, okay, well, that's their persuasion to get you to do everything you can to move the milestone closer, knowing that the milestone will move, and but you'll still be pushing as hard as you can in the right direction. And
Right.
uh, so there's different ways to do it. That doesn't feel the best, but
No, that feels like
it gets stuff
manipulation.
done.
The kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
persuasion we usually try to avoid, right?
You don't want things to backfire. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
You want to be careful. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's, and I know the situation that you're talking about, very frustrating, of course. But
Oh,
I
but
guess
yeah,
if,
and it can happen all the time. There is a very real one happening right now, but but it'll happen again, and it's happened before. So it's this thing where you push, push, push for something that uh, if you miss it, it's okay, but everybody's going to push and do their best to hit you know the
yeah,
original goal. So it's
exactly.
just people can get burned out if you do it too much, but every once in a while you have to test yourself to see how good you are. But then it's like, okay, let's take a while to not do that again. Let's not do that too often.
So I have to admit that I was one of those people that just like, yeah, it's never going to happen. We're never going to make it.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I didn't
I
push
think
myself too
everybody.
hard.
I think yeah. There were people that kind of knew that, people that didn't either didn't know it or didn't pay attention to that fact. But uh, you know, it, there's people that are just wired differently, and I think that uh, some of this stuff, even at work, in real life, everyday life, we're faced with things where we're going to be persuaded potentially, uh, and it talks about Scott talks about that even people that know that are being persuaded, like it's totally okay. Like people can totally know that they're being persuaded and
Yeah,
let themselves be taken away. So it's like that's okay. But there's other times where you end up being swayed because of an emotional fact or something that is attached to maybe a close personal issue or a close personal event that happened in your life, and you might be persuaded because they play to that.
Hmm.
And, so it's all over the place, and we deal with it all the time. It's just, how do you react to that? Uh, can really define your outcome. Like, how do you react to being persuaded? If you, maybe you don't know, but uh, it's more of like, well, how are you reacting?
Hmm.
It's something to definitely keep in mind.
So isn't that almost kind of like a hidden thing? We don't really talk about it because we're just always talking about how we want to learn persuasion, but isn't the other half of that also knowing when we're being persuaded? Like
Yeah.
that's yeah. So I'm finding that part interesting because, and we did touch on this the other day, how like now that we're starting to read about and study some of this, now we are finding ourselves more in tune with those techniques, and we can spot them when we see them.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely being made very aware of situations where persuasion or influence or leadership things are happening. You're like, oh, I can see this happening. It's happening right now. Like, I'm living through whatever I'm identifying, whether it's someone's being persuaded or they're trying to influence me a certain direction. Like, do I say yes? Do I resist? Do I ask questions?
You're right.
It's
Yeah.
I can see that happening more in real time now, and I feel like I don't. I think it's been helpful. I think it's helped me react better. Although there are times where I might be stressed or thinking about something else and caught off guard, so that still happens.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Got to be careful. But
I I I would say like I enjoyed our discussion a little bit on last week's show when we were talking about the different class of persuaders, because we're at this very entry level stage that I consider ourselves at, which is kind of the category of almost everybody else. In other words, you don't know a lot about persuasion. And then, yeah, then there's like okay, so we're more in the class
hey,
of
we're getting there. We're
yeah,
getting there.
we're persuasion enthusiasts. That's what we call
Yes.
ourselves, right? And
Yeah, we aspire.
that's rung one on the ladder, right? And then you go to these other levels, and I think so. The top level, I remember easily because that's the master persuader level. And we talked last week about Madonna for whatever the reason. I have no
Why
clue, but
Madonna?
and then there's the yeah. So and then what was it? It was a consumer commercial grade level persuasion or something. Do you remember?
Like
It was like the
commercial
level that
grade
Scott,
or
yeah, that Scott put
yeah.
himself at or whatever. I all I could say is that when you get started, you're never going to be like that high level master persuader. Very few people ever get there. You might get really good at it, but it'll take a long time. I expect it'll take us years before we would ever consider ourselves commercial grade or whatever that level was. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of think about it in like sports terms where there's a lot of people that are really, really good at basketball, but there's only so many people in the NBA. And
right.
even within the NBA, there's only so many superstars. And it's just like no matter how good you get, there's only so few people who are these like masters of their craft, and it's really hard to get there no matter what you do, but you can still be really good at several things
Hmm.
throughout life. But uh hopefully those things get you somewhere, like
Yeah.
socially or professionally. But
Yeah.
hopefully what you choose to be good at gets you somewhere, or you want to be wherever it is you want to be. But I feel like influence and persuasion, this kind of stuff, is definitely something that can be taken anywhere. It's not just like, oh, this gets me to a certain specific place in life, it's like, no, this can be used in so many different cases. So it's more of like a life skill that you can put in your toolbox and
Mm-hmm.
pull out, hopefully
Or
all the time.
it's part of your talent stack, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So of
Yeah.
all of the things that you can stack in there with your other things, your
Yeah.
social skills, your soft skills, things like that. Yeah, your talent, our persuasion abilities. That's kind of what drew us, I think, is that we kind of recognize that it's kind of one of those things that would help no matter what job you're doing, or even it doesn't even have to be your career, but just an understanding how persuasion works is an excellent skill to have. So,
For sure. Yeah.
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 Um,
It comes in handy all the time.
yeah. I didn't want to put you on the spot. Did you have anything else from your notes that you thought might be fun to share?
I think we got through everything. The one thing we didn't talk about was that humans are hardwired to reciprocate favors, and he talks about in this first part, kind of between the pieces talked about. He talks about reciprocation and how people are just like uh, uh, hardwired to not be in debt. We've gone over reciprocation quite a bit, so I feel
Hmm.
like it felt very like, okay, yeah, like I agree. It felt very
Reinforces that.
factual. Yeah, he reinforces the ideas that we have talked about quite a bit
Yeah.
extensively with the last book. So it was like, yeah, okay, cool. I can just roll with this. Like I know exactly what he's talking about.
Mhm.
So I didn't take a ton of notes because it was reciprocity. Like we talked
Yeah, that's
extensively about
fine.
that.
That's
So,
totally fine.
uh,
I didn't
but
put any
yeah,
notes
that
in
that's
there
the only
about that
thing I
either.
had. Otherwise, we hit everything that I had
Okay.
notes for. So
Yeah, that's cool. And I'll share at least a couple of things that I had on my list too. So, kind of at the end of the chapter, there's about a 5 minute, whoops, not chapter, the
art.
part, the end of part one, about 5 minutes where he talks about persuasion vocabulary. And
Okay.
that so a couple of the things that he mentions are the persuasion filter, how people actually see events through influence techniques and not facts, like we were talking about. And then you mentioned the reciprocity part of it. That was a piece of the persuasion vocabulary, actually. And then the humans reciprocate favors. They trust confident people. So that was a takeaway I actually remember because even if you are not a confident person, work on pretending to be confident, if that makes any sense. Because if you
Yeah.
pretend to be confident, then you'll become confident. And people tend to trust confident people. So it's part of your persuasion and part of that stack, I think, that if you're going to be effective at persuasion, then you have to also kind of build up those other skills. Learn to speak, learn to debate, whatever you have to do. Join Toastmasters. Come to do a persuasion duel with us sometime, maybe. So
Yeah.
because those are the kinds of things that are going to help build that confidence, and people can tell when another person is a confident person. So
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like people respect uh, even if you're just quiet. Sometimes people take silence as wisdom,
mhm.
a deep thinker. It's like, well, I just don't want to talk. But like you get viewed as like this like wise person who's not being loud and not being overly. Some people believe that the loudest gets the loudest is best. the louder the better. They get their way if they're loud. But
Right.
some people have
Sometimes
this like
they're right.
confidence. Well, yeah, the squeaky wheel definitely gets the grease or whatever. So, you know,
But your point is
fact behind that.
The quiet confidence. What were you going to say about that? That I understand what you. I think you're going with that.
I just feel like there was a CEO of Nike way back in the day, not that long ago, but back in the day, named Mark Parker, and he was super quiet, and he didn't really like speaking, and it was kind of known that he didn't really like to do public speaking, but he was like a good leader. People really, really respected him. Like people who knew him were very like super respectful, and the business did well when he was at the head of the business, so that's also a good thing. But he was just someone who didn't really like to talk much. So and like knowing that and then seeing how much he had to go talk and like watching him present and speak, he came across very thoughtful and like, you know, but also quiet. And I think it's okay to be timid and quiet, and you can still lead like a boss, and you can still be effective and have influence, and you can have people's respect and lead and influence that way by gaining the authority kind of piece of it, where you're the authority, even if you're not like this loud, crazy, eccentric person. You're just a normal, quiet kind of person, but you just have this amazing level of leadership or whatever it is that you do. Yeah. So there's a lot to that. I always have respected that when people are kind of more of the quiet confidence. They listen. They don't overreact. Mm-hmm. Those kind of things have always been,
maybe more thoughtful because they don't just open their mouth every time they get a chance.
yeah.
Maybe
which I
fight
to do. I need to make sure I don't do that too, which is why I respect it, because it's hard not to run your mouth. It's hard not to say something, like especially when people are being stupid. You know, it's hard not to like just be a little bit toxic back and like piss them off, say something ridiculous. You know, so
for sure. Well, I'm looking at the clock, and I can't believe that we're so far into the show here. We'll probably just save any gameplay for after the show. But so far, I only had a few other things that I wanted to throw in there. This conversation is fantastic. That's why I was wondering, are we even really going to get through this part in one episode? Because we could talk about this for a whole nother episode. So the takeaways for this would be everything that we talked about tonight, and this would be the takeaway from part one of this book, is that we have to first of all shift our view from assuming that people are rational to assuming that people are mostly irrational. Once you do that, everything makes more sense. So, right? And that's kind of scary because, you know, we were talking earlier about how people will have this cognitive dissonance where they make things up in their minds to kind of fill in those gaps that don't align with, you know, and reconcile with their worldview. But like, you imagine, like, you know, if we're 90% irrational, then that means that most of the time the decisions that we make are just without thought, and maybe we don't even justify them in the end. So how would you like your surgeon making 90% of their decisions based on, that's good.
Yeah.
I'll rationalize that later on, man. So then the next thing was that persuasion beats facts. You talked about that, Stephen, and from your notes, facts essentially are essentially could work against you.
So, yeah, really.
So as you mentioned, use emotion, use visuals. People like visuals. That helps a lot. Use simplicity. The simpler that you can make things, the better. Once you start to over-explain, those kinds of things just complicate and people shut down. So you want to keep it simple. Repetition is another thing. And then repetition is another thing. So, sorry.
Wait, what was that? Wait, wait, one more time. What was
is
that?
another thing.
Oh,
Sorry, I had to go for the joke there.
that was
Repetition.
good.
Yes, you got to
Yeah.
use sometimes if you want to make a point. So like I don't know. Scott would do this one all the time, and if becomes a natural part of your speaking, then it can work because you can say when you really want to emphasize a certain point. When you get to that point, then you say the point, and then you stop, and then you say, "I'll repeat it again." You can even say, "I'm going to repeat it again," and then you make your point. When you do that, it's that pause and that repeat. People take notice, and so you can use that to your advantage. It's a way to bring focus to a certain part of your conversation. So, okay, and then intentional wrongness. We talked about that, and then we also talked. We didn't talk too much about two movies on one screen. We did the other day at work. We were kind of chatting about how that whole concept works. Guess I could
Yeah,
maybe
but it didn't come up tonight. But yeah,
yeah, it's definitely he introduces two movies on one screen in this part. So maybe I'll go ahead and touch on it real quick. But it's that whole idea that essentially for any two people that are given a set of facts, people will view those facts in different ways, and so and based again on their filters and how they see the world, and the filters could be their news, their friends, their whatever that influences them in their lives, and so you could with the very very same of facts, you could have two different exact things going on in people's minds, two movies on one screen. So, and that's true most of the time. Most of the time, like just Stephen and I sitting here and talking to each other. We're probably watching a lot of the same movie, hopefully, because we're doing this podcast together, right? But like later on when we go to think about it, how did the podcast go, and or whatever, and when we might have two different movies in our minds as far as like how this podcast went, and then the same goes for life, and then recognizing that as a superpower, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I feel like that's a great. It's a great concept, and it makes a lot of sense. And when you apply it to things in your life, I feel like it will make a difference about how you see things. They always say, see it from another person, see it through someone else's eyes, or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Walk a mile in their shoes. This is just another way of doing that, where you're realizing that, like, hey, we may be watching the same thing, but we have different trauma, so we're going to process it differently. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
like you and I have not been traumatized in the same exact way. So,
Right. Yeah.
usually how we process things comes a lot from like either the really good moments in our life that where something went so well that we always recognize that kind of event as a positive thing, or it was so traumatic that anything related to that trauma is a super negative thing,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it's this balancing act of what's the mix of that? Is it all negative? Is it all positive? Uh, there's a lot to consider. So
Yeah.
sorry to go too far off the rabbit
No,
trail.
no, that's not off the rabbit trail at all. It fits right in. I
Cool.
I would say in addition to two movies on one screen and understanding that being a superpower, you could take that a step further by trying to, if you're looking and want to change somebody's opinion, or what we're calling persuasion now, right? For changing somebody's opinion, then the thing that you want to do is you want to get and start figuring out what movie is on their screen. You know, like try to just to get it. Yeah, what is it that you're seeing there? You know, what's on your screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you see a crow, what's the movie that plays in your head?
Yeah,
Is it
exactly.
The Birds, or you know, like
For sure.
what plays? You know, what kind of thoughts do you have go through your head when you see a crow?
So the practical tip for tonight then would be display confidence. Do that when you can, try. But I like the quiet confidence that Stephen talked about. That can actually be effective too. I appreciate you talking about that tonight, actually. Leverage reciprocity, right? Because it works. It really does. And be genuine, of course, with your reciprocity. Don't just do it so that you can manipulate people and to get what you want. But yeah,
People can sense a greasy salesman, so don't be too greasy.
Yeah. And let's see, make your messages simple and visual. Is probably the other takeaway. So some simplicity rules in a world full of chaos. So your persuasion will definitely be stronger if you can keep it simple.
Absolutely. Great tips. Great tips.
Yeah. This was a fabulous first dive into part one. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, this was really fun. It was a good conversation that somehow an hour just disappeared. It's gone.
Disappeared. Yeah, just like that. Yeah. So if you want, then we could go ahead and call it a show. We'll do a little after show. I don't know how long you have, but I can guarantee people that if you stay for the after show, you'll get at least a good laugh by the time we sign off. I'm planning to debut. Oh, and Stephen knows what I'm talking about here.
Do I? No, I'm just saying, guaranteed a laugh. Better stay.
Guaranteed a laugh, yes. Maybe even kind of ties in with that shitty joke that I told at the beginning of the show. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a reframe. It's a way. It's a way. Let's just put it this way: you need to get inspired about life. I have a song. Stephen, now you know you know the song.
I know where this is going. Yeah.
Yeah. Not many people know, but that's for the after show. That's not an official part of Persuasion Club. This is just me having some fun. Stick around for that. Yeah. Anyway, we'll go ahead and play off, and then hang out for the after show next week. What part two? Part two?
Yeah, we can. If there's anything left in part one, we can finish that up and start part two.
All right.
Sounds good. Yeah, let's go through it.
Yeah, there's only like 4 parts, but I will tell you that I was looking. I got a couple seconds here. Well, let me go ahead and do this for folks, just so you know what you're getting into with this book. Part one. Let's see, roughly about. I don't know, 50 minutes of the audio book. Part 2, I think, is almost 2 hours. Part 3, I think, is it's longer than that, I think. So part 1, it was pretty light. It's as the book goes on, it
building.
Yeah, build.
Up.
Yeah. So just know that you're getting a lot of stuff. We covered, and an hour was probably not even doesn't do it justice to talk about part 1. But yeah, so we may camp a little bit more in some of the other parts, is what I'm trying to say. So
okay, cool. Yeah. We could always revisit parts of part 1. I'm sure there's different things that'll come up.
Yeah. I was going to do, but because things were a little bit looser tonight, he actually, I think, does four persuasion tips in part 1. I didn't list them out, I think we covered some of them in some fashion or another, but I might actually come back next week and just make sure that we cover, because like he has a whole set of persuasion tip 1, 2, 3, 4, and we didn't call them out specifically like that, but I'd like to keep a running list and make sure people are getting all of the persuasion tips.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right. Great. Thank you, folks, for hanging out with us tonight. Excellent show. Most of the stuff worked for the most part. We enjoyed our guest in the chat. Thank you, Chuck. Hopefully you join us in the after show, some fashion or another. Here we go. Playing off.
Thank you all. Have a great night. Thanks, Kevin.
Night, everybody.
See ya. I need just 2 seconds. I'll be back.
All right.
You say whatever. What were you going to say?
I was just going to make the sound effect at the end. Right. Yeah. You go. I'll be right back. The troops entertained here.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to put our banner up here. We are officially in our after show, so if people want to join us in Rumble Studio, I'll get that information up there for you momentarily. Let's go ahead and put that on the screen. I can turn that off. And let us go to the banner that we usually put up here. There you go. So we've got some information on the screen that you can check out for joining us via Rumble Studio. You go to that URL at the top of the screen, then you should be given an option to get right in to the room and join us. I'm going to get a little music going here too. We like music.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah. I was just getting people the information for Rumble Studio if they wanted to join us.
Nice.
Yeah. So we could play some game, do some gameplay tonight, but I don't know. I'm kind of. What do you think? Do you want to, or
you just want to chat about
stuff?
Anything?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm happy to just chat.
Yeah.
Anything interesting happen in the world of influence or persuasion in your last week or so?
Well, I think I did tell you about that I had met with my manager, and I was hoping to squeeze an extra work from home day out of her.
Yeah. So what? Yeah.
And so I went in with the the idea was that I was going to go in and use that anchoring effect, right? So the idea where you make that big ask and then you back off of the big ask. I'm going to turn the music down a little bit. It was almost too loud. But for some reason, I forgot to do that part. I guess I was just kind of caught up in the moment. And so I didn't do that. And so I went with the what if principle, which is, and instead of actually saying, hey, how about an extra day off from work from home? You go, hey, so I have a question, and this is kind of more of a what if. What if I were to start working from home Wednesdays on a regular basis? So it was just a what if. I wasn't necessarily asking for it. It was like a what if. And that didn't work.
Oh, man. Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. So, and then I told her afterwards that I was going to ask for full-time remote work and then back off of that. And I have a feeling it just wasn't going to work either way. So,
yeah, I feel like understanding the root of why they deny that from happening. I just don't understand the cause. Like, also Chuck mentioned, asked if you could put the link in the chat here.
Oh, yeah, I could do that.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
It only shows privately for me. Like, I can't type publicly to the chat through Studio. But I think understanding the root of, like, why do they require, why do some managers in the same division allow full-time remote and other managers require hybrid? I feel like understanding why that is would help make the argument, because it's like, well, what is the reason for denying being fully remote in a world where you could easily be fully remote?
Exactly. Yeah. It just doesn't seem to make sense. It's like,
it's like, well, would the manager feel like that there's no point for them being there anymore? Like, is it a value thing to them? Like, if you work fully remote, your manager feels like they no longer matter, which I don't know. Again, we're thinking irrationally here, but that could be the case, where they feel this irrational fear of like losing value when that's not the case. It's just like, what is the, what's the driver for why they would authorize or deny that from happening? So I don't know the answer, but I wish I did.
So what I have been told is that there was a negotiation that took place. And when they did that, there was like this kind of thought that the business side of the house, not the tech part, but the business side, would be in the office X number of days a week. And so there's like, okay, we'll make sure that our IT people are there to match. So a lot of people, their schedules were based upon what the business was doing. In my particular case, the people that I work with only come in 1 day a week. So it really didn't do any good for me to be there 3 days a week. But what are you going to do? So,
well, I think that's the thing, is like, you're talking about they're operating in a way that they are used to operating like 6 or more years ago, So it's like, well, that could change by just making a decision. I see Chuck join.
Yeah. Oh, is Chuck in the studio now?
Chuck's in the studio.
Hey, cool. You have to turn on either your microphone or your camera or both to actually be on the screen. I hear a microphone. I could tell. I could hear somebody. Are you there, Chuck? Hey, there's Chuck.
How's it going?
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Welcome to the show.
Glad to see you guys are continuing the Win Bigly process. Obviously you found out that getting the audio of the second edition was worthwhile because it had a message directly to us beloveds.
Oh, okay. Share that with us. I don't remember what it was. What did he say?
Go back and listen. It is something specifically for the audio.
Yeah, the preface, the preface of the book, he covers talking about, basically to those who who didn't cancel him, kind of thing. He mentions that.
Yeah.
So he talks about
basically lets
stay true to him.
he lets everybody know exactly what he did and what he came true and everything, and how we all helped him, and it's a lot of fun. And I did 3 episodes so far on Lynn Bigley on my channel, and I'm not even
sweet.
past chapter 1. Okay, so I did. My last one that I did, I put the link in the chat to you guys, but I have a Rumbles account, and I think those are all on my account, and I have a YouTube account as well.
Well, we'd be happy to share those with our folks, because we want to spread the word about others that are doing the same thing we're doing, where we're all.
Well, thank you. My neon sign is on its way in, and it's going to say the Q Room. So mine's going to be the Q Room.
Okay.
Some of my episodes have Q is my co-host of my episodes. Okay, Q is the teleprompter. So I have a teleprompter
Nice.
run while I practice guitar. Okay, and throw in snarky comments as Q tells the story. And, so it's really designed so you can leave the sound off and you can speed it up and still get the message.
Nice.
Great. I see on your channel, like the clips or the videos on there show you holding onto a guitar while talking. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What made you decide to use the guitar while doing that, like while talking
Well,
about?
I want to learn guitar, okay, and I got a story about that about one of our other beloveds too. But if you look at YouTube, you cannot find a beginner on guitar. And I mean a real beginner like me. So I am recording it from the beginning.
And then people can watch you progress and learn.
Yeah, now I have multiple sclerosis and I'm messed up mentally. So this is, my daughter's a psychiatrist, and she has me doing the guitar to do neuroplasticity, to try to rewire my brain.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm doing. Plus the video content and learning all these freaking tools is crazy, And on my channel, I have some music videos on my channel that in 1997 they took me a couple of weeks to make, and I can make that same thing in like 5 minutes now. On Fillmore Wondershare. It's crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah. Technology keeps going faster and faster.
It costs to edit video in 1997. You had to buy the video card from one guy in New York. He was in Staten Island. There was one guy that sold all of it. And so he was known as the video guy. And so you would buy this big capture card, and then to buy...
You pay thousands of dollars for it, probably.
Yeah, well, $2,400 for just a video card.
Uh-huh.
Then you had to buy SCSI drives, and that was $2,400 for 2.5 gigabytes. So yeah, can you imagine? And that's how those videos were made back then. And now you have unlimited space. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I'm analyzing it right now on how it's almost too easy. Because if you go into these editing tools, everything's about AI, and it's all an upsell. They want you to click on an AI tool and then buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And too much upselling going on at AIs. Man.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, it's too much of that.
I totally find the simple tools to be the because I get very confused with interfaces. That if I don't understand interfaces and I have to learn them, I get frustrated very easily. And so these video editing tools, they could be pretty complicated. But if you could just find like if you just want like one particular thing, like just clipping videos, you can find like a real simple program that just does clipping, and that's all it does.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I gotta give a plug to this Wondershare. I've been using this now for about 4 years, and it's gotten better and better. And then they hooked up with Filmora, and it's still a reasonable lifetime license. And I paid like $150 for something that I paid like $5,000 worth of equipment for in 1997. Same thing.
It's worth it to find something that works for you, because there's a lot of programs will ultimately maybe provide you with what you want when it comes to video software editing or video editing software, but you got to find the right one that works for you. I feel like there are so many out there that when you find the right one, it's worth putting some money down to get a license and use it fully. So that's good.
Well,
I haven't heard of the one that you're.
It's I'm a one-man band, and so I think I'm going to be able to put out some content. And my objective is A, to rewire my brain, 2, learn guitar, and 3, shoot some bullshit.
Nice. Those are good goals. Good goals.
Yeah. Retire.
So what got you interested in Scott Adams?
That's interesting. I forgot to tell you the other story too. Okay, well, I first ran into Scott in 2013 as a writer.
Oh, really?
And he was. I was a big Dilbert fan. Okay, and long story. I think in 3 panels. It's really weird, but. In 2013, the credit card Bible, if you will, was called the Green Sheet. They were based out of California, and they were run by Paul Green, who was the first independent sales organization in the credit card business. So he was a precursor to Elon Musk and the Jared Isaacman, our NASA administrator, and myself, credit card guys, all of us. So Paul Green started it all, and they had very good articles. And one of their writers, Dale Lansig, wrote an article about how to fail at almost everything and still win big in 2013. And I was a regular on there and kind of like an insider, sort of like being a beloved or member of the man cave kind of thing, and the Green Sheet. And I got offered to be part of an article in August of 2014 that was a follow-up to How to Fail. So Dale wrote a follow-up article about guys that implemented Scott's How to Fail at almost everything and applied it to the credit card business, and we all got put in that article. So I got mentioned in the same article with Scott in 2014. So I was original Periscope guy.
Okay.
Now one of our beloveds is, believe it or not, Buck Dharma from Blue Oyster Cult. Okay? You know who Blue Oyster Cult is?
No.
Don't Fear the Reaper. You never heard that song?
Oh, yes, of course.
Cowbell.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I've been friends with Buck for 30 years, and then about 6 or 7 years ago, we're sitting in Baton Rouge Hotel having some drinks, and all of a sudden we start talking Scott, and we realized that we were both beloveds.
Oh, no way.
Listened every single day, and I had been knowing this guy for 30 years. And we just found out that we were both like tied to the hip,
Nice.
more like tied to Scott's toenail or something. So, so after that, so we got, all we did was get closer. Okay. Now that guy, who's a beloved, he actually, the last video I did on my channel was about Five Towns College, and Buck got a doctorate. He got a doctorate of music. So Blue Oyster Cult actually had a song called Dr. Music. So he got a doctorate of music at Five Towns College, which is known for developing creators for the next generation. So that was kind of fun.
Cool story.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys talk to Scott?
I actually never knew him personally, so.
I mean now.
Now, well, tell me how that would work.
Well, I'll share what I feel, because when he first died, I got a feeling, man, he was hanging around and talking to everybody that was there every day. He was there for them, okay? And then I got this overwhelming feeling that he kind of like got elevated and joined the collective infinite intelligence, and it was no more doing one-on-ones. It was just a collective, and that's where he is now, affecting the world, the universe.
I guess I would say that the way I felt about it is that I felt that his energy had to go somewhere, because there was just so much there, and everybody just kind of took their own piece, and the whole thing with Scott's debris made a lot of sense to me, because I think that we are all Scott's debris. So
you know what?
We're all taking a piece of that energy.
We're all right. We're all right in our own mind. That's the way it is. It's like I have a hard time getting people to accept my perennial view of spirituality. Everybody's right.
So tell us a little bit about your channel and what you're doing with the Win Bigly.
I have a channel. It is called What's Good About This? Okay, and I'm with MS. It's really hard to keep your glass half full. So that is my go-to when I get into a big-time dilemma, whether it be business or personal, everything. I ask myself, what's good about this? Even when that's really, really hard to ask. It's a hard question to ask. So that's why I named my channel. What's good about this? And it's got the Q room. I want that to be. I'm recording now where my pool room used to be. So now it's just going to be a Q room, and I'm going to have my neon lights in back of me. A lot of serious going on. Somebody's got to lighten it up.
Yeah, we all need that.
I really think we need more humor out there. We need more comedy. And we just need people to say, like Greg Gutfeld says, so whatever they say so. Give me a smile. So you're a racist. So. Yeah. Hey, do you guys ever watch MS Now?
MS Now? Oh yeah, that's what MSNBC used to be, right?
Yeah, you know that black kid, that gay black guy with the afro sheen?
No.
Eugene. He was the White House Correspondents Association head president under
okay.
was in there. Okay.
Okay.
Anyways, he said something today that was so telling. He said, "Oh man, this is so depressing." And I said, "No shit, it's so depressing, man. Everything you guys talk about is depressing."
Yeah. Yeah, good news, it never gets the amount of clicks or attention that the bad news or the news that causes people to negatively react or like heavily disagree with. That kind of news always goes a lot further when it comes to interactions on Twitter or whatever. And so that's where people go to. It's the negative stuff gets the reaction. The positive stuff, it might get a heart or someone will give it a thumbs up, but they may not comment because it's like, oh well, that's cute and nice. But if it makes you mad, then you want to say something, so it gets those people to engage when it's more. I'm not saying people don't ever say nice things, but definitely it seems like the news and other people definitely give into the negative side because it gets the engagement that they're looking for, which sells advertisements and it makes them money. So it's like, yeah, it's really sad that gets more engagement, but it is unfortunately the way it's kind of become for now. It would be nice if that changed.
I got to tell you, I miss the Man Cave. I miss the original Man Cave. And, I'm learning guitar from scratch. Scott did that with the drums.
Yeah. I never got to see the Man Cave. I was kind of a latecomer.
Well, you talk about persuasion, okay? The Man Cave started off the same every night, okay? First of all, we got the click that says, "Okay, we're going live." So then all of a sudden, he starts playing the drum beat, and I used to get mad at him. I'd say, "How come he's using the same beat every time?" And I figured it out, man. This is so persuasive. He did the same beat for months.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I said to myself, because you knew you were being hypnotized because I knew that beat not on the stream. I knew it in my head, wanting to get on the stream. So I had memorized it. So he had beat that into me. And, and it's nice, It's sort of like a gift from Scott that I got to take on my bicycle to ride and stuff,
That's cool. That's great.
I didn't think it's. I recognize it now, and I never realized before how he would use things like that, like the whole thing with the simultaneous sip. The beginning of every podcast was that repetition, and building that into our brain. That's yeah.
By the way,
the repetition. He was using persuasion on us. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. On my channel, I'm using a 30-second countdown on it, so that's part of my persuasion on it. Like start the clock, real time. Start the clock. I even have a 1-minute video to Bill Maher and Woody Harrelson to get. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and
that's exactly what we do too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I sent Woody Harrelson and Bill Maher a little video on it because I visited their store. So it's got Waymo in it, and it's got the real time music to it. It's only a minute long. So what I use for that countdown, I since my co-host's name is Q, I got the Q prompt for the see that.
Oh, we can't see anything on your screen.
Oh,
So
you can't see that. Oh, you can't see that on the screen. But anyways, that was my last one that I had on there. But I have Q is Q prompt. That's a open source teleprompter. That's I really like it. Better than OBS teleprompter.
Okay. Yeah, we keep telling because it's one of our rules of Fight Club is that, or not Fight Club, Persuasion Club is that we can't use teleprompters.
Yeah, we don't use notes really much at all.
Well, let me share some with you that I use that's similar to that. Is thoughts stay in my head about a half a second, and they're gone. They are totally gone. And so what I've done, I've started using Scapple more. Scapple is the bulletin board that is integrated with Scrivener, the writing software. That's the number one writing software, and that allows me to just go ahead and clip on there and rearrange it in a regular order, so it's easier to talk when I'm gonna go into a session on it. Like I've been getting involved in the spaces, the after parties and stuff. I tried to get involved in that book club for Win Bigley. That was
Owen Gregorian, yeah.
But I got to tell you, I was a paying customer there, and a couple of weeks they just started talking about nothing about Win Bigley at all. It was about crypto and all this other stuff, and I said, I didn't pay for this.
I did notice that the conversation had drifted. I tuned in for some of that, and I wound up missing most of the persuasion discussion.
It was off track.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess you have to catch it more like maybe in the beginning of the show when they're still talking, and that's very early in the morning for us being on the West Coast. So I don't usually catch the beginning of the show. But
it happened to me twice where I got caught in a 3-hour rabbit hole on something I didn't want to be in, and I said, "There's never going to be a third on this channel." Sorry.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I do love Owen for his spaces when he does the news. He's got a very good take on the news and stuff, so I definitely enjoyed that. I just hadn't been able to catch much of the Win Bigley discussion, but it sounds
the main reason that I'm not doing the book club with them is because I'm kind of doing a different type of evaluation. I'm actually, I was a mentor. My mentor were the classic people like Norman Vincent Peale, W. Clement Stone, Napoleon Hill, Og Mandino. So I'm way set in my ways. However, Scott has polished that granite so well of all the classic teachers. And so I see a lot of persuasion techniques that were in the 30s, 40s, and 50s and 60s that Scott applied now, and they're just, maybe you don't need all those now because, there's no more door-to-door sales like there used to be. But because a lot of that self-help genre involved door-to-door sales at one time.
Yeah, well, I don't know. There's plenty of salespeople out there who still need to learn how to persuade because there's a lot of people that suck at it. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are all too good at it. So,
yeah.
Well, I hope I'm not being rude, but I have some things that I have to attend to here this evening, being kind of the tail end of Mother's Day and such like that. So
Mother's Day, yeah.
I was
sleeping over here, so
but it has been an absolute pleasure talking with you, Chuck.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I appreciate you taking my time in talking and everything. I know you guys are getting started and everything, and I wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm trying to put a little bit of content up strictly for health reasons and to learn the guitar. And it's like one of my streams. I said, "Oh man, I got stage fright." Before I started the clock, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
you get the butterflies. Yeah.
Every time we go live, it's just like, oh my gosh, here we go.
Here we go.
You gotta do it. Just do it.
All righty.
Thanks, Chuck.
Hopefully you join us again. We'll be back here next week. So appreciate it.
All right, man. Well, have a good one, guys.
Yeah, take it easy. Stephen, I hope you have a great night too. We'll be chatting probably tomorrow, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and I'll see you Tuesday most likely. And hope you have a great night.
Yeah, that
Thanks for
fun.
a great episode.
I almost forgot to tell you, but meeting Chuck there reminded me of our very first Rumble Studio guest, which SJV, remember him?
SJV, yeah.
SJV, yeah. And then something happened and he got banned from X for a little while. And I think it had something to do with an X Spaces thing and just a thing that he did. It wasn't a bad thing. It just wound up being like something you're not supposed to do. And he wound up getting banned. But anyway, he's back. And so SJV, I wanted to say, if you're watching us tonight, welcome back to the land of the living.
Seriously.
I noticed him online yesterday for the first time in months, and I was like, SJV's back.
That's great.
Yeah. All right. So as promised, I'm going to leave us all with a song that has been in development for a week, a whole week. And it's going to be part of a video eventually, and maybe even part of a movie someday. I'm thinking about actually building a movie off of this. But this is a reframe. Gotta imagine the scene. I will set the scene for you here. It's your Disney princess kind of movie. And there's our princess works in an office and she gets shit on all the time. People always blaming her for shit, people bullying her, giving her a bad time, and just life is nasty. And so this is her moment where she decides how she's going to handle it. And this is our sign off. So enjoy, and we'll catch you all later, everybody. Good night.
All right, catch you later.
Oh, will it play? Here we go.
I can hear it. It's quiet. Oh, that's good. It's a little loud, but it's good.
The outlook chimes at 5 tonight. Still half my work to go. Another day of fake great jobs and meetings moving slow. The printer jammed like 7 times. The Wi-Fi died at 3. And somehow every problem here still gets blamed on me.
Uh-oh.
Oh, it stopped.
It stopped. I hit a button and it stopped. I should not have hit that button. I'm going to start it again. I'm so sorry. I will not press any more buttons.
Hey, right.
The outlook chimes at 5 tonight. Still half my work to go. Another day of fake great jobs and meetings moving slow. The printer jammed like 7 times. The Wi-Fi died at 3. And somehow every problem here still gets blamed on me. that shit go. Watch me rise and steal the show. Let that shit go. Let that shit go. I'm done caring, don't you know? Here I stand and here I'll stay. Let the chaos roll on. I just reframed my pain away. My patience spirals through the air like glitter in a fight. My give a damn clocked out at noon and never even said goodbye. No guilt, no shame, no strings on me. This is my new philosophy. Dancing in the ashes. Anyway, let that shit go. The past is gone, it's out the door. Not dragging chains anymore. Turns out freedom feels this way. Should've let that shit go yesterday.
Are you inspired or what?
Wow. I feel like I just went to a Broadway musical.
Doesn't it feel that way?
Yeah, that was great. I almost am like I just was getting lost in the music. I barely even know what they were saying, other than "let that shit go." Of course.
Oh man, I hope everybody enjoyed that.
Thank you, Kevin. That was great.
Yeah, have a great night, everybody, and we'll catch you next week on Persuasion Club.
What an ending! Thank you so much.
Right?
Have a good night.
Toodles.
Yeah, take it easy. See ya.